Hey everyone, this is Mr. Finlayson, and this is a very short, very fast video on the Quran for my grade 11 study of religion students who are looking at sacred texts. This is the stuff that you missed in today's lesson if you were out on TAFE or whatnot. So the Quran means recitation, and the conventional Islamic belief is that the Quran was revealed by the angel Gabriel or Jibril to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. This is the words of God according to Islam. And it hasn't been changed. It's in classical Arabic, and that's an absolutely fascinating thing to understand from a study of religion point of view. If you're a devout Muslim and you believe that in the Quran and it being the unchanged words of Allah, that means you have the words of God in your hand. That is something very powerful to understand. For my guys, there's a key word here, corpus, which you can add to your glossary. Also, watch this video. I will put a link into the comments below. You don't need to watch it all, my guys. I just want you to listen to some of the surahs. Arabic is a very beautiful, very melodic language, and what you find is many Muslims are able to recite the entire Quran all the way through. And that first surah is used every single day, 5 times a day, for every Muslim prayer. This piece of text here I used as an example for note-taking purposes. What I asked students to do was spend 5 minutes looking at this text and pulling out the key parts. I've done it myself. I highlighted them, and then I showed what it looked like in notes. Note-taking is a very important skill to learn. I suggest you have a good crack at it. So this shows us that the Quran is divided into 114 surahs, and it talks about the order of the surahs, the length of the surahs, and the name of the surahs. We then looked at a story. If you click on this link, you guys from my class have the PowerPoint, and I'll add it below in the description. This will take you to the story of Miriam and Isa, which really surprised some of my students to find that it's actually the story of Mary and Jesus, a very familiar story. And I was told by an imam at Qur'an Mosque that Jesus is actually mentioned 25 times in the Quran, which leads to some very interesting questions, which I would like you to answer. Question 1, considering the importance of Jesus in the Quran and the similarities between the sacred texts of Christianity and Islam, how could understanding this information influence the relationship between Christians and Muslims? And number 2, this is an Islamic story of a Jewish character who founded Christianity. What might this mean for Jews, Muslims, and Christians? Right, moving on. The other story you can look at is Muhammad and the spider, and have a look at some of the questions that follow for that. You can follow that link, or again, you can get it down below. Here is a quick summary of what we looked at with regards to the Quran in the first half of the lesson. You can pause it and write the information down yourself. And then we looked at the original, or one of the original, the oldest manuscripts that still survive of the Quran. It's dated 660, and it's called the Great Paris Manuscript. And we used this to look at 2 existing surahs. And this is kind of fascinating study of sacred texts. We have the Codex tells us, and if ye die or are slain, lo, it is unto Allah that ye are not brought together. But the contemporary Quran gets rid of that word not, which is a really fascinating thing to look at. What could have caused this difference? Is this an example of exegesis, an example of exigence, or is it simply a copy error? Could a copy error be exegesis? All right, 2 academic points of view with regards to the Quran. Have a quick look at them, pause this video, and then I messed up the next section. You were going to do a cut and paste activity, but I messed it up. So this is the information. This is the order of which we know, academically speaking, that the Quran came into being. I'll move my ugly face out the way, put me up there, and you can pause twice and have a look. Now, bring it all together for my guys. We've looked at our 2 scholars. All right, we've looked at Skull and Coward, and we've talked about their opinions on sacred texts and exegesis. You can pause this and have a read, but ultimately what I want you to do is this question here. In a Peel paragraph, if you tell me if you agree or disagree with Coward, and in arguing your point, analyze the Quran using the Codex and the timeline of textual evaluation as your evidence. Make sure you go back and check, and also if you have any questions, please ask me. This is the study of religion. It is an academic subject, so it's not a faith-based subject. If you have any queries, if you're out there in the general public, by all means, leave a comment, but be nice. Okay, bye-bye.